YouTube land. Yeah. Shaved. Chrome dome. Yeah. It's spring, summer, whatever. It's a lot warmer than what it was. Time to turn on the AC. So, where we left off, cutting the hole and preparing the can cabinet to go in the hole. Um, so here's where we sit right now. Big ass hole, and it's prepped and ready to go. And then the can. I've worked on it yesterday just after work and got it welded up. I haven't got it all cleaned up yet, but it's welded in and all its glory. Excuse my welds. I still don't have a lot of experience with welding aluminum, but I make do. It's a spool gun style, so it's ragged, but I do close up some holes. So I've got the handles covered up. There's a vent either on the bottom or the top. I think it's on the bottom. That's covered up. The recessed indent for the shackle is done, and the whole backside is basically sealed. I'm sure the weather will still get into it once I start putting cables into it, but it's done. And then on top of that, it had a baby. I got this one from work. The boss saw me walking out with the other one after welding it all up. This is what the original size is supposed to look like. So it's, like I said, 18 inches from here, and then from here over to there, it's another 18 inches, and it's 30 from here to there. So that's what it's supposed to look like when it's supposed to sit on that side. They put them in the back seats of their work trucks. But yeah, the boss saw me walking out with this one, and then he mentions, he says, I think we're going to talk to the guys that own these, and we're going to send them to an auction place. I'm thinking, so you wouldn't mind if I grabbed another one? He says, yeah, as long as I know about it. So he's, have at her. So okay. So I made another one that's bigger. So it had a child. So I got to get that one done, but that's later. We got plenty of stuff to do on this side to get Max running again, because unfortunately all the cables that run them are on the floor. I've had a few questions this week. I had I don't know if he's a subscriber yet, but I had a gentleman hit me up on Facebook. He says he's been watching me for a while. I think his name was Jason, but he says he's been watching me for a bit, which is kind of cool. Thank you. He asked me, he says, why didn't you just take this whole side and flip it up? I've seen ones where they take them and they move up, or the one that he showed me a picture of, it flipped down and then it had like a workbench. But I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, well, I really didn't want to do it. And I didn't think about it at the time, but when he brought the question up to me, I thought, well, why didn't I do that? But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, no, there was a reason for why I didn't do it. As it was before, like I said, there's batteries on that side and there's batteries here. Like, you can see how deep I've made that. That was about 7 or 8 inches deep, and 2 batteries side by side. It's 36 inches. I don't have a whole lot of space in here to put batteries and stuff like that, and then I have to close it up, and then I got to get a hinge thing. So yeah, it would have been a lot harder for me to make the whole bedside do what I want and then close it up. Nobody would have seen it. That would have been an ideal thing. But I'm thinking there would have been a whole lot of fuckery that would have been involved in this. And on top of that, my camper sits on top of this and it overhangs a little bit too. So having this flip up and have that, if I am turned in a parking lot, I won't be able to get the bedside up or down, or if I have to get into something and there's a car parked beside me and I have to put it down. There's probably a few reasons why it doesn't exactly translate very well to what I want to do. And then I remembered I have the antenna here, and then I have a plug that I'm going to put back here too. So having that lift up, yeah, it would have been too hard. But thank you. At least somebody's going, hey, why didn't you? But yes, it's a great idea, but in my application, I just don't feel that it's great. And the other one was a friend of mine hit me up on Instagram and asked me, says, well, if you've cut this massive ass hole in here, what about your filler neck? Where do you want to put that? Well, I was basically like, well, one problem at a time, man. I'm solving this riddle first, not that riddle. But I did come in. Oh, where the hell did I put it? Ah, here it is. This is the original. It sits like that underneath there. So I basically took it last night, and I'm like, well, I had an idea of making a piece a lot smaller than what this one was actually going to be, but have it kind of like that, and then have the gas cap like right here. I'll have to move the antenna, but having the gas cap and the filler, and then it would go more or less down in the same section as where it was, instead of running it. I was going to make it complicated, like I usually do. Go behind the cabinet, go up, and then come up inside on this. But if I ever take that out for some stupid reason, then obviously I have no place to put it again. So yeah, I think I'll build something like that and contour it a little bit better into the side of the truck, so it doesn't stick out like a zit. But that's kind of the concept I think I'm going to go with, is basically just bring it up from where it was into here. I do have like it's like a 3/4 or 1-inch pipe, and I have it teed into except my auxiliary tank. So there's a port there, and the hose goes down and it comes underneath and it tees in on this thing and then goes into the tank. So my auxiliary tank has the receiver, well, the spigot, that I use to plumb it right into the truck. So I flick a switch on the inside, this thing pukes out the gas and right into the tank, and I can just tootle on down the highway. However, I do have to make some adjustments to this. I found out the hard way, at 13 gallons per minute, Chevy doesn't have their gauges respond like this. It kind of goes, and by the time it gets to reading half of a tank, it's full and puking out the gas cap and pissing it down the side of the truck and hosing the camper and hosing a transport truck behind me, and the transport truck pulls me over and tells me, do you know you're leaking fuel? And I'm like, yeah, I do now because I can smell it. And yeah, you look like an idiot. Yes, I speak from real world experiences. So I have to put some type of provision in there that only does like 5-second bursts, and then shuts off, and then waits basically for the truck to respond, because 5-second burst is like fucking 25 gallons. It's insane how fast that fucker moves. But yeah, so that's the questions of the day answered. So we are going to go and clean up some of the welds on that. Like, majority of the welds that are on that, nobody's going to see. But the handles are going to be seen. The vent underneath, and there's 2 bolt holes on the top I got to clean up, because you can see them past the skin here. So I got to clean those up, and maybe just kind of buzz the other ones down to kind of flatten them down a little bit, and we're going to shove her in. So that's the plan for today, is get it kind of mounted into this hole and start working on putting the cables back in to at least run 1 battery, so I can at least start the Hesperus of the Great North. And then I'll at the same time kind of do this, because once this is in, that's going to be a bitch to get at. So I'm going to do probably a little bit of both. I'll probably end up doing that kind of first before I really get this in. So yeah. But anyway, sometime around 10 o'clock, what time is it now? It is 9ish. So around 10 o'clock, I haven't gotten a confirmation of whether he's going to show up, but he's got a power steering belt that makes fingers on the chalkboard noise. So I'm going to have to stop and attend to that, but that shouldn't take too long out of my day to get him up and running again and stop it. So, save his sanity is basically what it's going to be boiling down to. So, yeah, I'm going to throw holes in my throat because, fuck. I've got sniffles, I got a sore throat. No, I don't have the freaking virus. Jesus fucking Christ. Don't even get that in your head. But yeah, we're gonna get this Saturday going. No, it's not a beer. Yeah, wish it was a beer. Beer. But yeah, we'll get going and oh fuck, I gotta get the time lapse camera going again. Anyway, squirrel. Yeah, let's go. Fateful time of the day. It's update time. Gentleman came by this morning, got his belt done. A little bit more of a pain in the ass than I expected. On the Kia he has, it has two, one of those, how do I put them? It's not a tensioner. It's so crammed in there with the little V6 that he's got in this thing, and they have like that much space between the frame rail. They have sort of a turnbuckle style tensioner. You have to undo 2 bolts, 3 bolts in one, and then wind it right out till it stops, and then put the belt back on, and then wind it up until it's so taut you figure you hear spurring and the belt's going to blow off. But it has 2 of those, one for the power steering and one for the alternator. Not fun. But anyway, he's done. His sanity level now has come back up. He's not going to sit there and scream and holler when this thing squeals when it hits the end of the lock. But anyway, update time for me is we've cleaned up the box, ground down the ones that most people are see, and flattened down the ones in the back. Went and put myself the door handle in, so now it's an actual cabinet. I've got 2 of those handles, and I'll just flip it to the other side when I go to do the other side. But yeah, so it's all kind of prettied up, so that's ready to go. What we've been working on here the last little while is, like I said, we are going to put the filler neck here. So I made a template up out of cardboard and whatnot. Went down the crappy tire and picked up some sheet metal, but this stuff is fucking thin. Like trying to do the top there, it kept blowing through, so I had to keep winding the heat back. I'm practically on crawl on wire speed, and like 1 on the give her hell mode. But so far, got her all in. My welds for being flux core kind of blow, but it will do the job. It'll be minimal freaking Bondo, just kind of smear it in and then make it all look pretty, paint it up, and then do the line over top of it. The line in the coconut. But anyway, so yeah, start with my blue and go across, or just paint it all black and then start my new line over there, because you're not going to be able to see this piece, I don't think, once I get the box in. But yeah, well, but now I've just got to get the bolt pattern and figure out which way that thing's going to sit, and then plop, on she goes, and I'll seal it up so it doesn't rust out. But I think that turned out pretty fucking nice. And from a distance, it doesn't look all that bad from back here. And the box sticks out just as fucking far. So the box will kind of hide it too, so from looking down. And yeah, I think that'll look snazzy. I was thinking of putting a guard over top of it so shit and whatnot can't get it, but I can probably add that later on. Pop rivet something onto it or some shit like that. But for now, I'll leave it like that. And just pop it off. I might get a locking one or something like that. But for now, I'll leave it. And I'll just get on with the box. I might call it early today. It's what is it right now? It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Been basically up since 8 out here for most of that time. But we'll get the cap done and see if I can't get that box shoved into the hole tonight, and we'll mount the bastard up tomorrow, and that will be Sunday for this weekend. And I don't have anything else scheduled for Sunday, so it's just me and the truck again. Kids. I can't see myself ever having kids. I spend most of my time out in the shop. My family would hate me. Yeah, well. See ya. With all the pain in my leg and all the other shit, I was able to get the holes drilled on the spigot filler thingy. Fuck. Technical terms. The gas filler neck. So I got it done. I didn't get the bucket in, the cabinet in place, because I thought of something along the lines. I have to be able to basically make look pretty on the filler, and then I also had to fill in the old door. So wind you out here. So the filler door, I didn't use the sheet metal that I got from Crappy Tire. What I did is I actually just took the old fuel door, sliced it to the way I needed it, and burned it in. This is Bondo hair. It looks like somebody shit on my truck. Because of the hardener I used. Apparently it works with Bondo hair or with everything else. I didn't know. I thought it was some special shit. But anyway, I have a can left over of this stuff that I did with the center console. And it's hard as a rock now. But I will sand this down once it gets really, really freaking hard. Sand it down and make it look pretty. I'll put some a thin layer of plastic filler over top of it once I get it down. This shit has fiberglass resin mixed in with it, or fiberglass hair, and then like the hard resin, and then the cream hardener fucking turns it to a shitty orange brown color. But it's a little tacky still. Still in certain spots. So I got to get some rough sandpaper and then go at this, and then I'll put some filler over top of that to make it look a little bit nicer. And yeah, the neck fits, which way does it go? This way, inside, and then plops up. And I've got the original holes. So I've trimmed it already, and I've got a hiss in my drag shit home, and maybe I will use it again someday pile. Well, this is someday, and it is the perfect diameter, and it even has the fucking proper length, and almost the same contour that I need. But yeah, I'll use that, and take that one there out. That's where it was, and that's the same material that I used. So I'll take that one out, and I'll just hoop it in so it's same amount of length. And then there's a vent tube and a fill back something or other. I also got to bring back up here, but that's an easier hose. And then I thought, well, I've got a gaping hole, and I don't have anything to protect the metal. So this black stuff here is actually rocker guard. So I sprayed it on the inside of here, around inside the fender, and then sprayed the living Jesus out of inside here, just to prolong what little metal is still here. There's been spots I've saw behind this when I cut this out. There's actually rust spots starting to show through. This one I got from a junkyard off of another truck. It doesn't surprise me, but the door is actually rotting out from the other side, so it's been sprayed with reactant and all the other stuff, and then rocker guard on the inside, so it shouldn't rot any further than what it is. And if it does, oh well, I'll just cut it out and repatch it. But yeah, it's welded there. I'll just gotta sand it, grind it down, and then I'll mount the box tomorrow. I'm thinking I'm going to bolt it to this piece here, which is actually the piece I built, and then make a bracket from there to the backs of the box, and then some supports, and have it sit on top of that, and use that hole there to bolt it onto, and then bolt it on there, and then hold it back, and then I can start running some wire, because there's 4 of them down there. 2 are ground, 2 are positive, but it all goes to the back seat, so it all comes back out, and I repurpose it. So that's where I'm at right now. Right now, I'm going to let this all gel. I'm going to go inside and soak my leg. So yeah, we're going to get this back at it tomorrow. So for now, this is day 1 of probably many on this project, or at least on this side this weekend. Next weekend or so, we might start on the other one, but I got to get the box prepped for it anyway, so I can cut the hole, do all the other jazz, and then put the box in, and then I'll take the whole thing down to work, and then I'll just put in what else I need. Yeah, something funny. All these things up here are magnets. Those 2 things that the camera's sitting on right now, that's the battery, and then there's 2 hooks, and it's mag mounted to the thing. I'm trying to figure out, where am I going to put the time-lapse camera? And then, oh, there's hooks, and they've got magnets stuck to them. So there's 4 magnets holding that thing up on either hook, and thunk, right to the wall. And it's perfect. It sees the back of well, where the truck is. So that is 4 feet from there. So that's basically what you've been getting. So a lot of my back. So yeah, we're gonna call this a day. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My leg is just absolutely throbbing now.
2 hours later.
just had a huge sneezing fest. So update time. I was out here fairly late last night. Basically, I came out or waited for the Bondo hair shit to harden up, and then I got bored in the house and decided to come out and see the progress on how hard it was getting. So it hardened pretty damn good. It's basically like concrete. It is a absolute pain in the ass to sand. I was blowing through sandpaper like it was going out of style, much like people in their ass wipe. Um, so once I got that basically sanded down, I threw some Bondo plastic filler over top of that, and then waited for that to harden. And then once that was hardened, I got bored again and came back out, put a final coat onto it, and this morning I finished that up. So now I've painted it, and that's what it looks like right now. I had to go down to Canadian Tire and pick up some paint. It is nowhere close to what I have. I have flat black. I had to get gloss black because everybody decides right then and there they're going to go do some stuff around the house, and all the flat black is gone. So I only got one can of it. I should respray the whole truck because it's got dicks and things and all over the place. Like there, it's starting to show again, and then up front and then from here down it's a rocker guard. So yeah, all of this was basically Bondo last night. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. I've got my cap there, and I've RTV'd it around it, so it won't rust, even though that's pretty much galvanized, so it shouldn't ever rust. But anyway, the metal underneath it, I don't want to rust and then cause problems. But yeah, all this is bondoed up and then pretty looking, and like you can't really tell on the camera because of the way the light is, but it looks nice. So from a distance, it doesn't stick out further than the box. So I like that. And then, yeah, my antenna mount is gone. I have another one. The one that I had was actually modified to sit. So it sits literally right on top of this. So I went and got the original mount, which brings it up to here. But then I got a wire, and then, yeah, no. So I'll just throw it on the other side. So that mount there will actually be on the other side. My father tells me, it's like, it's got to be on the back or got to be on the front. You can't have it in the center. I'm like, well, the front, that mount there, or even that mount, it doesn't fit underneath the hood very well because my hood sticks up like that freaking far. So I got to make a weird bend. And I really don't like the aesthetics of it up there. And obviously back here, I can't have it because, well, if I go and swing the camper around in a parking lot, I'm going to clean that thing right off. So the only other place is there, or where I originally had it, which is right there. So those are going to get taken off, and I'm going to put that over there. So I'm just going to have to deal with whatever reception I get. The call sign that I've got is VE5TRH. It's Saskatchewan, Canada, if anybody wants to look me up. So this is where the boxes now come to. I've bolted it on the bottom side there. That's actually about floor level on the box. So with that, it's actually screwed this way into the box with Tapcons or sheet metal screws, and they're every like 6 inches across the box. So that piece ain't going nowhere. And then up top, I've got it there, which is literally the top lip right along there, and it's triple thick basically, so it ain't going to go anywhere. And I don't have it mounted anywhere else, and I can shake the shit out of the truck. So that's how the batteries are going to sit on this side. I think I'm going to bring the wires in on this corner and then go up. And then I've got shelf brackets right there on here, and then it's held in there. And the little dimple one sits right at the crotch of my door. So when I bring the filler piece in for when I'm going to weld it to this, I can stop right above that screw and then continue down and go across. So I think it'll actually look pretty damn snazzy. Oh, god damn, my nose is running. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, I don't know. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon. It was started off really cold this morning, so I've got the shop just piping hot in here just to cook this paint. So, I don't know if I really want to go ahead and wire this one battery just so I can move this fucking truck around, or just stay the hell with it and worry about it next weekend. I really don't know yet. So I'm going to end this video on this note as to say I may just say screw it and go in the house and do some other stuff I've been meaning to do in there, like clean. So do the honey-do list that nobody's telling me to do, that I have to take it upon myself to do. So yeah, we'll leave it at this point and we'll call it Dunsky. If I do more, I'll put it on the next video. So, have a good afternoon, I think is what it is. Yeah, 2:30 afternoon. So, have a good afternoon. Like, subscribe, and what the hell? Follow me on this fucking piece of shit if you actually care to. This thing has cost me what this weekend? Some sheet metal and some paint. Everything else has been acquired and hoarded. So, it cost me basically virtually nothing. So, yeah, take care.